Hi, my name is Myrna Georgis, and this is my interpersonal communication video project for COM 120 on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Today I will be talking about my interpersonal communication between me and my best friend Sandra. I decided to choose my best friend Sandra for this project because we are very close to each other and she's not only my best friend, she's like a sister to me. I love her so much to a point where I can't go a day without communicating with her. As for our interpersonal communication, our first issue is asynchronous communication. This is when messages are sent at one time and responded at another. Our second issue is information overload. This happens when there's too much information being sent to the listener and they can't understand what the message is. Our third issue is unchecked emotions. Happens when an emotional arousal interferes with communication successfulness. Three ways I believe we can fix our interpersonal communication issues are: one, to talk to each other more in person and avoid messages being sent at the wrong time. Second is to listen more carefully and split our conversation into smaller parts. Third solution is to think before we speak to avoid unchecked emotions. Hi, this is my best friend Sandra. I'm going to interview her for my interpersonal communication project. We are going to talk about our communication problems that we face. The first problem that we come across is asynchronous communication. This is when messages are sent at one time and responded at another time. I believe that this problem interferes with our communication and it doesn't allow us to communicate the way we want. I believe the best solution to this problem would be to talk more in person, to talk to one another rather than sending messages. What do you think about that, Sandra?
My input will be that to find out what schedule is and to make more time to see each other in person and talk in person instead of just like sending messages or texting each other all the time.
Yeah, I think that would work really good because if we send messages all the time, stuff can happen. Maybe our phone died or we couldn't see that message at that time. So maybe if I didn't respond to you, you would think that I don't want to talk to you, but that's not the reason. Maybe the reason was because of my busy schedule. I couldn't respond to your message.
True.
So I believe if we meet each other more in person and we get to talk to each other, that would work better for us. Yeah. The second communication problem we face is that when there's information overload. This happens when there's too much information being sent and the listener can't understand what the message is. So for example, let's say I'm talking to Sandra, I'm telling her something that happened with me and I'm just talking too fast to her, and then I didn't pause, I didn't explain, I'm just talking straight ahead. She can get really confused and not get my message properly or not get the main idea of my message. So that's why I believe the solution for this problem is to listen carefully and probably if I split things into pieces, it would help a lot because she would understand what I'm saying better. As if I just overload all the information, she's gonna get really confused and she's not gonna know what I'm talking about. She might have a lot of questions going on in her head, and so if I make things clear and then just talk slowly and then more carefully, it would help a lot, and then we would be good on that. She would understand what I'm saying. We won't have any problems.
I agree with you on that, and I believe that sometimes we are so excited and we say too many things at one time, and either we type or start talking without non-stopping, and we say like too much information. So we should like talk slower or like say one message and one time at another, so we can understand each other more.
Yeah, I think I also agree with you. It's just that when we talk, we have to think that maybe my speed isn't gonna work with your speed. Maybe I talk fast, but you're just not used to me talking fast. You understand things when are presented to you slowly. So we just have to understand each other more, and then whenever we communicate with each other, we have to make our conversation clear. That's it, basically. Just be more clear to each other. And the third communication problem we have is that unchecked emotions. This happens when arousal interferes with communication successfulness. So basically, this means, let's say I'm talking to Sandra about something that I want to tell her about, and then let's say I said something, let's say I was mad at that moment and I said something that I didn't mean it, and she got hurt from what I said. Maybe she got me wrong, so therefore she's gonna understand me wrong, and the message is not gonna get to her. So she's probably gonna get mad at me, or she's gonna not want to talk to me again. So I think the best solution for this would be to think before I speak. So basically, think before I say anything, because maybe if I say something, maybe it's good for me, but maybe it's gonna offend her. It wouldn't offend me because I'm saying it, but what if it offended her? So I have to know what I'm talking about, basically. So
I think
what's your point? What's your look on that?
Yeah, so I think that we should try to understand each other and not judge too fast, and instead sit and listen and like ask again what's the problem or what's happening, and instead of judging too fast and like getting mad or anything from you.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. And then also I think that we should think about what we're saying, basically, like even if we're mad, or like let's say I'm really mad today, I got mad from something that happened earlier. Maybe I should tell you in the beginning, oh Sandra, hey, this happened with me, so if I yell at you or if I overreact, don't get me wrong, this is the reason why. So I should be more clear and explain things to you before we start talking, so that unchecked emotions wouldn't occur in our communication, and then everything would be good for us. In conclusion, according to the concepts learned in class, which were asynchronous communication, information overload, and unchecked emotions, I believe if we follow the basic solutions, which were 1, to talk to each other more in person, 2, to split the conversation into smaller parts, 3, to think before we speak. If we follow these solutions, we can have a much better interpersonal communication than ever.